campus of TCU. Conference USA basketball, Horned Frogs playing host to the Memphis Tigers. Luke Ellis, Jimmy Dykes. Let's take a look at the Kelly Tires Road to the Tournament standings in the National Division. As I mentioned, Memphis, UAB, Houston, all tied for the top spot. South Florida just a half a game back. TCU, on the other hand, only 1-7. But John Calipari will tell you they have been in every conference game. Starting lineups: Massie, Carney, Irwin up front, Burks and Rice in the backcourt for Coach Cal. For TCU, Brown, Valson, and Mariex. On the front line, Santee and Blunt in the backcourt for TCU.
Lou, to follow up your point about TCU being in ball games, there's 7 conference losses. The average margin in all 7 games, 7 points. That's how close they've been to finishing people off.
Massie to tip this game off with Brown. Memphis controls. That's Antonio Burks.
90% of the time, the team in blue wants number 4 to touch it before anyone else takes a shot. Now, there's an exception right there in Irwin. You back off of him, Massie draws that double team down low, and you got him to pay a 15-foot jump shot because of it.
For DeJuan Irwin, just his 3rd start of the season. Mariex no on the jumper. Anthony Rice for 3.
The strength of Memphis is on the inside. The strength of the team in white is on the perimeter. It's a club that knocks down about 7 or 8 3-point shots a game. So you got to cover them up, get your heels above that 3-point line when on that ball.
Valson makes a move, has his shot rejected by Carney. Burks in a hurry, pulls up and knocks down the 2.
So both clubs can really run. I mean, Memphis has the green light when they get a stop to push that thing up in transition and call their own plays. If they don't get a stop, then the play calling falls on the shoulders of John Calipari.
Junior Blunt tried to get the ball down low to Mariex, and he was fouled by Irwin. 3rd season for John Calipari at Memphis, 61-29, won the NIT last year. Neil Doherty, first season here in Fort Worth, 7-13 overall.
Neil, the former assistant at Kansas, you'll see a lot of similarities in TCU and the Jayhawks as far as their style of attack, their secondary breaks and things they do defensively.
And Mariex gives the ball back. TCU, by the way, has never beaten Memphis in the 5 previous meetings between these 2 teams. 3 of those 5 contests, by the way, decided by 5 points or less. Memphis won 98-93 last year here in Fort Worth. Tigers actually won both meetings a year ago. Rice, no on that 3-point attempt. 0 for 2 from 3-point range, Anthony Rice. Ball kicked out of bounds. TCU will keep it. 28 seconds on the shot clock.
Memphis is the worst in the league at defending the 3-point shot. Opponents are knocking down almost 40% from that 3-point line against them. That's a danger sign right now when you play TCU, who shoots a lot of threes.
Jamal Brown couldn't work around Massie.
This is the 3rd half-court possession move for Memphis, and Massie hasn't touched the ball yet. He's being guarded by 1.5 defenders, and then 2 guys will run at him on the touch.
Carney up top. Irwin again, shot clock down to 11. Irwin says, why not? Mariex left him alone, and Irwin hits the jumper.
His defender has really backed off and kind of doing a yo-yo defense inside on Massie. As a result of that, Irwin will continue to have that 12 to 14-foot jump shot.
And he's not a bad shooter, Jimmy, 56% from the floor.
Yeah, the releases look good. He's got a nice, high, soft touch about him. Hasn't been in a rush.
Blunt left-handed dribble to the hoop. Bodied by Rice, and the foul on Anthony Rice, his first. TCU all year long has had problems with starting basketball games. As you see, they fell behind by double digits to Texas Tech, Tulsa, Southern Miss, and Houston. All 4 games they lost. Why the slow starts?
Well, I think it's exactly what Neil Doherty told us yesterday. He said when you come out of the locker room, both clubs are fresh, they're alert, they've listened to scouting reports. For the most part, the most talented or best team will have the advantage the first 3 or 4 minutes, and that's what's happened to his club in all those deficits early in those ball games.
One hits both free throws. 89% free throw shooter, best in Conference USA. First 2 points for the Horned Frogs. Rice down low, Massie. Double team for a moment to Carney, but Rice walked with him.
Well, Massie drawing all kinds of attention. As soon as he caught it that time, he knew he was doubled and immediately got rid of it. That DePaul club right now, that's another club. There's 4 clubs in Conference USA right now with an RPI of 50 or lower, which is good, and DePaul's one of them.
Lou Demons now 4-4 in league play. Mariak's had his shot. Handed right back to him by Irwin. Rice in a hurry. For 3 again, his 3rd try, and finally he knocks down his first rear of the game.
Good relocation by Rice on the pass to Massie. Got in the passer's vision and stroked it. Speaking of stroking it, Mariak's is awfully good in trailing the play in transition and knocking down a 3. He's one of the better big guys shooting on the perimeter that you'll find.
6'9". Bingo Mariak's early shooting numbers. TCU 1 for 5 now. Irwin hits another jumper. Irwin, a guy who came into this game averaging just over 2 points a game. He's got 4.
Well, they continue to give him that 12, 14, 15-foot shot because, again, it's his defender that's really sagging off on Massie right now.
Blunt down low. Brown throws it up. Gets it to go down.
Brown gets a lot done, Lou, for a 6'6.5" kid on the inside. For his size, he's undersized about every timeout, as is the TCU team overall.
Mass couldn't get his shot to go down. Ball goes out of bounds. Memphis will keep it. But after a timeout on the floor, both teams off to a decent start. 4-point lead for the Tigers. 4.
We talked about Chris Massie at the top of the game, and he's a guy that you have to have a plan defensively coming in. You see, as soon as he catches that ball, 3 guys are surrounding him, and he's being defended right now by 1.5 guys. And what I mean by that, the guy assigned to him is covering him, and then the help defender is about a step away at all times. There's a reason why. 17 points, 11 boards will draw you that kind of attention.
He has started every game since he became eligible with the Illinois contest back in December. He missed 7 to start the season.
When TCU out of timeouts, they'll change their defenses up. A lot of times they'll trap out of their 2-3. Again, this is a carryover from Neil Doherty in that Kansas system.
Immediately, they get the ball down low to Massie, who is pushed in the back by Jamal Brown, his first.
Number 30, Jamal Brown, his first personal foul.
Massie will find a way to be a factor in the ball game, either from the free throw stripe or as a rebounder.
There he is working hard, and this time he has the ball poked away by Nucleus Smith, but the foul on Smith is first.
You know, watching Massie on film getting ready for this ball game, he's playing harder and at a higher level more consistently than he did last year. You see how quickly he flashes in with a little duck move. He really is a big target. He spreads out wide, which is what you like for a low post guy.
Let's take a moment to thank our corporate sponsor of Conference USA, Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It's in college basketball. Is it in you? Massie gets both free throws. 6-point lead for the Tigers.
The strength of TCU is in their transition and their running game. They're not great in the half court.
1 for 3. Yes. 35% three-point shooter. That's his 57th tray of the year. He leads his team three-point shooting.
And half of his makes on the year from the three-point line. So that tells you make him dribble into his shot.
Jeremy Hunt in for Calipari. Can't get his tray to go down. Back the other way. Here come the Horned Frogs.
Again, this is a club that likes to push and then just let Blunt and Santee make plays on you.
Mariak, the short hook.
Guy that really doesn't have a true position in the half court. He's kind of a floater. They list him as their four-man, but he'll float around in that half court. You have to have a versatile defender on him because of that.
John Grice into the game. He knocks down the tray.
Number 20, John Burks.
The Tigers have 4 legit three-point threats. Hunt, Carney, Grice, and Rice are the 4 guys that have the green light and shoot it most efficiently for the Tigers.
Southern Miss knows that well. Grice hit 5 of 8 trays against Southern Miss a week ago. Santee, short on the 3. Brown gobbles up the rebound. Brown, a guy who averages over 9 rebounds a game. Santee working on Hunt. Demariek thought about it.
See how they use Mariak as a screener? He picks and then he pops because he can shoot that ball. So it puts a lot of pressure on you how you cover that ball screen.
Hunt on Hunt.
13th foul of the Tigers.
For Hunt, his first. There you see the rebound numbers for the season. Memphis best in the conference today. Tigers with a slim advantage. Against Grice. Back up top, Smith. Blunt.
Ball's got to get to the other side of the floor. It stayed on this side for about 15 or 20 seconds.
Shot clock down to 9. Santee working on his man to Smith. Smith makes a move, finds Brown, has it rejected there by Burks.
Memphis reacts and sometimes overreacts to everything defensively.
Shot clock down to 2. Blunt throws it up and knocks down the tray. Junior Blunt, his second 3 in this game.
Boy, a huge shot by Blunt. A great recognition. Defensively, you just got to chase and short leash a guy when there's 2 seconds on the shot clock if you're guarding a shooter. Can't give him a look.
TCU within 1 thanks to a 7-2 run. Blunt with 8 points. Burks inside the line. In and out. Follow there by Massie. No one boxed him out.
You know, almost if you're defending him and the shot goes, you face guard him and you don't worry about getting the board yourself, but you keep him off of it.
Down low, Brown back to the bucket, and Hunt called for the foul, his second. And Brown will go to the line. Jamal Brown, senior out of Dunbar High School, Baltimore, Maryland. Averages under 9 points a game, but as I mentioned, over 9 rebounds a contest.
Nothing flashy about him on the offensive end. He's a catch. He can just go through your chin to the rim type stuff. What Neil Doherty told us yesterday evening is so true. His club is 1-7 in conference play, but it's not because of a lack of effort. They've played extremely hard first 7 or 8 minutes of this ball game.
Jimmy, in Brown's case, this is a guy that had 26 rebounds in 1 game last year. Why is he such a good rebounder?
Well, I think he has great vision. You don't ever catch him surprised when the shot's above the rim. He always sees the ball, even if he's on the inside with the ball-you-man principles. And he's not going to get surprised. Things aren't going to come off the rim and hit him in the back of the head because he doesn't see it. And he wakes up thinking, where's my next rebound? He's got that mentality.
He hits the free throws. And it's a 1-point advantage for Memphis. Tigers off to a nice start, but thanks to some 3-point shooting from the Horned Frogs, they trail by just 1. 1 for 2 from the field, getting a number of touches since the previous timeout. Meantime, Memphis shot the ball well. 7 of 12 from the field, 58%. Chris Massie, senior, Marcola, Texas. As I mentioned earlier, has started every game since becoming eligible with the Illinois contest the end of December. He actually missed 7 games because he was academically ineligible for the fall semester, then had to sit out 2 additional games for playing in 2 games at the NBA pre-draft camp in Chicago. And Coach Calipari was telling us, Jimmy, yesterday at practice that what Massie went through during the offseason actually humbled him a bit, and he's now listening to the coaches and his teammates more.
Opened his eyes a little bit to how good you have to be if you entertain the thoughts of going to the NBA. I've done a couple of games this year in the NBDL, and it's amazing the talent that's in that league, the minor leagues of pro basketball, that can't get in to the NBA. So I think that was a great decision by Massie to come back and start listening to that staff again. He's really prospered his senior year.
Burks needs help.
You have to expect the pressure. You have to expect the traps from TCU out of timeouts. They'll change up their look on you.
Carney short on the 3-point attempt. Irwin had it for a moment, but stepped on the line. Brian Carter into the game for TCU. Horned Frogs with 5 assists already. They're a team that average about 15, 16 a ball game.
Every basket has been made from a pass from a teammate. Unselfish play, and then another thing about this club you have to defend against is their ability to get to the free throw stripe. They average 26 free throw attempts in a game, which is second in the league.
Up top, Dawson didn't expect it. Smith, shot clock is down to 3. Smith tries to make something up on the floor, has it rejected, and the shot clock goes out. So TCU, with a number of new faces out on the floor, did not look comfortable offensively.
No, Smith does the right thing with the shot clock winding down to drive that ball, but then you got to have a great decision at the end of your drive, and he kind of over-penetrated that time and allowed a 7-footer to just easily send it back.
Memphis with 4 blocked shots already. He had a shot of Irwin. He blocked 4 shots in 17 minutes against Southern Miss last week as Massie takes a seat.
You're talking about the struggles of Memphis. You know, on their 16-man roster, only 3 kids have played in every game. I mean, they've been out for academic reasons or injuries or sicknesses, and it makes it tough to get your team together for practices and games when you're fighting that.
Burks hard to the hoop. Drew the foul from Brown, his second.
You know, Memphis, they've got the ability to drive that ball hard and finish on you. I like the size in their guards. Rice is 6'4", Hunt is 6'4", Grice is 6'6". Burks is the only small guy that plays a lot of minutes. So if they get inside of the defense, they can make plays over the top of you.
Burks hits the first of 2, and continue on your thought about the starting lineup problems for Memphis this season. Through 19 games, they've used 14 different starting lineups. No starting lineup, Jimmy, has been used more than twice this season.
I mean, just can't get into any kind of a rhythm, you know, either with starters and then your rotation off the bench. But they've seemed to have kind of settled in to where they want to be right now with their 8 or 9 guys. Certainly, Barron getting back will be a huge help.
Chinweezy finds Valson break into the hoop. Corey Valson with the bucket.
Well, great recognition by the passer and a great job by Valson to go straight to the front of the rim. Your help defender goes and doubles that ball. Boom, go to the rim and catch.
Irwin back to the bucket. Cross court, Rice for 3, his second tray.
Wasn't that really good? I mean, it wasn't so much an extra pass as it was the pass that needed to be made. He turned down a marginal shot to get his teammate a really good shot.
To the hoop, Blunt. Had it blocked, but it went off of Rice, so TCU will keep the basketball. 4-point lead for Memphis, 23-19. We're over halfway through the first half.
TCU, they can score on you. The problem is they allow 81 points a game. The opponents are shooting 47% against them. Defensively is where these teams have struggled in losses.
Wow. His third tray. Back the other way.
Oh, that will frustrate you if you're Neil Doherty. Get a big 3-point basket, and then no one runs the defense, and the guy runs it right up your backside.
Santee had it stripped away by Burks. Three-point shooting. TCU 4 for 5. John Calipari was worried about that at practice yesterday.
Well, the Horned Frogs are going to throw them up there. They had 39 three-point attempts and a loss this year at Houston on February the 1st. So if they have one of those games that the three ball's going for them, they're dangerous.
But they need the three ball to be going for them because they shoot just 32% from three-point range for the season, which isn't great.
No.
Rice inside the line, too hard. Mary X inside the line, no. Thought about it. Blunt, great ball movement from TCU. And Belson knocks down the triple.
Good decision by Mary X to turn down a marginal shot, reverse the ball all the way around to the corner to a wide open jump shooter.
Belson with 5 already, scored just 5 total points his previous 5 games. Tied at 25. Richmond has it stripped away. Santee finds Blunt, who finishes. And they're going nuts here at Daniel Meyer Coliseum. TCU down early, patient with its three-point shooting, and they now enjoy a 2-point advantage over the Tigers.
Very impressed with TCU's ability to pass that basketball. We showed their assist to made field goals so far in this ballgame. There's the marginal shot that Marriott turns down, but watch what he does. He says, okay, you're going to double team me. Someone's open. It's the guy in the far corner, and Valson just jumps up and strokes it. Not known as a shooter. Valson only 3 or 4 shots a game, and then their defense triggers offense. Again, Blount and Santee are very good on the perimeter, ripping and running and scoring on you. Blount and Santee, one of the better combos certainly in this league.
We talked about John Calipari having difficulty getting a healthy starting 5 on the floor consistently this year. On the other side, the last 9 games, Neil Doherty's been able to use the same starting lineup, and sure enough, offensively, they look like they're in a nice rhythm today. Conference USA Basketball, Lou Canellis alongside Jimmy Dykes. We're in Fort Worth, Texas. TCU playing host to Memphis. Rice with the three-point attempt, knocks down his 3rd. Belson, long that time. Massie. TCU pushes it up.
Massie doesn't have great lift in his game. He's an angle-type guy. If he gets an angle on you, it's all but over.
Burks finds Massie. And Massie's fouled by Chinweezy. Chudy Chinweezy on the floor for TCU. He had missed the 5 previous games with a stress fracture in his left leg.
Massie is awfully efficient in his game, Lou. He's averaging 18 points a game, only taking 8 shots from the field. He does get to the free throw stripe a lot just because of the attention that he draws. But he's a guy that can take a hit, and you don't knock him off of his path, and it doesn't get him flustered. He's going to come right back down the next possession and expect you to hammer on him again, and it doesn't bother him.
Perfect at the free throw line so far. Back Rodney Carney. Billy Richmond takes a seat.
Perfect at the free throw stripe is not how you describe Memphis very many times this year. They're last in the league, 62% from that charity stripe. Wow.
Timeout on the floor. 3-point lead for the Tigers here in Fort Worth. Here in the first half, Memphis enjoying a 3-point advantage. Coming up next weekend, many of these ESPN Plus television stations, South Florida will play host to Houston, noon Eastern tip. Game 2 of our doubleheader at St. Louis. East Carolina on the road at the Savage Center against the Billikens. A 2 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Conference USA Basketball brought to you by Kelly Tires and ESPN Plus.
You're looking at a league right now. Louisville with the number 1 RPI overall in the country. Marquette at 20, Cincinnati at 22. Memphis and DePaul both in the top 50. So there's 5 teams right now. If the season ended today, you get a serious look. 3 for sure and 2 more right there. That NCAA bid.
Louisville on the road tonight at Houston. Cardinals have won 16 in a row. Marquette will play host to Wake Forest tomorrow. Oklahoma State at Cincinnati also tomorrow. Bearcats trying to snap a 3-game skid. Santee short on the 3 attempt. Back the other way. Burks finds Rice. Nice find from the point guard.
Yeah, good stop and then a quick outlet pass to advance that ball up the floor and get the 2-on-1.
Neil Doherty called a quick timeout. What did he see there that he did not like?
Well, again, I'm sure it's transition defense. Just a couple of possessions ago, they gave up a layup, and they give up another one now off of a missed shot. The good thing for TCU, 9 made baskets and 9 assists, so they're playing unselfishly.
Next 4 games for the Tigers. 3 on the road, 1 at home at the Pyramid against UAB. Memphis has enjoyed most of their games early on in league play in their Pyramid.
6 of their last 9 is on the road, so they've got to get that win on the road mentality going in a hurry.
TCU over the next 4 games. A couple away from home, and then 2 more right back here at Daniel Meyer Coliseum as Neil Doherty tries to get some wins under the belt for the Horned Frogs. 7-13 going into today's action. Memphis right now on a 7-love run over the last minute, 5 seconds.
You know what, that Marquette club, they're right there with the best that I've seen this year. They've got all the ingredients. They got size. They got a terrific little point guard. Dwayne Wade would be my pick. If I had to start a college team, I would take him first. If he wasn't available, I'd take TJ Ford from Texas. That Marquette club has all the ingredients.
Golden Eagles have won 8 straight going into tomorrow. Shot clock is down to 4. Smith again tries to hurry her shot and is fouled by Burks. 3 times here in the first half we've seen Smith trying to make something happen on the floor, Jimmy, while the shot clock runs out.
You know, if Neil Doherty has a leader, it's the guy in the headband right now, Nuke Smith. Now he's been injured with a back problem, elbow problem, knees, ankles. He really needs to sit and rest, but because of the lack of depth on that perimeter, that point guard spot, he just plays right through it. He's a tough competitor.
Fought through injuries all of last season, played just 14 games last year because of ankle and hand injuries, but as you mentioned, not much better this season, but he wants to be out there on the floor. There you see his season numbers. Averages under 6 a game, 40% from the field, but more importantly, a leader out there, junior out of Pontiac, Michigan. Santee back, and Smith will take a seat.
TCU club is well described by their head coach yesterday, offensive sensitive. And what he means by that is if our shot isn't falling and we don't have the maturity and the leadership to play through it, that's not a good sign.
For 3 now. Massie worked hard. Carney again, this time down low, fouled. I don't think they'll give him the shot. Foul is on Santee.
Massie, he just goes and gets it, and he rebounds out of his area. A lot of guys can get the balls they should get. He goes and gets ones that are 50-50 type stuff, and then he just lowers his shoulder and just powers through you 6 feet and in.
8 points in the game for Massie. Memphis on a 9-1 run.
TCU will not beat you from inside the 3-point line. They can beat you from beyond that 19-foot, 9-inch arc. Again, defensively, you get your heels above that line and make them do something off the bounce.
Santee for 3. Chunwizi back up with it. Had it rejected, but he'll go to the line. Foul on DeJuan Irwin.
Good-looking athlete, isn't he, Chunwizi? He was averaging 12 points and 6 boards as a starter before that stress fracture, and you get an idea right here of what the only recruit that Neil Doherty had time to get last year when he got the job was this kid right here. He's really a good find. 6'6", has a nose for the ball, plays hard. Battling through a stress fracture right now.
The only true freshman on this TCU club. Neil Doherty, while an assistant at Kansas under Roy Williams, 7 years he was part of that Jayhawk program and averaged 30 win seasons in all 7 years. So talk about being part of success. Rice, 3 feet beyond the line, Jimmy, knocks down the tray.
Don't dare him to shoot it. Again, Grice and Kearney, Hunt, Rice, all of them have a quick trigger. You back off of them and let them measure their three-point look. About half the time it's going to go in.
Worked away by Massie, but Memphis gives it right back. Third turnover for the Tigers.
Well, Memphis plays with that mentality of if you turn it over or you miss a shot and we do get it, it is 100 miles an hour from defense to offense.
Tigers up 7. Student section here at Daniel Meyer getting into this game. Short on the 3 attempt for Blunt. Burks pushes it up inside the line. No. Rice chased it down. Presence of mind to call a timeout before he fell out of bounds.
Something you don't see out of Burks a lot is to push it in transition and without making a pass, jump up and shoot it himself.
Jimmy, earlier you talked about TCU being sensitive with its shooting. If they don't hit three-point shots, they're dead. 0-9 when they don't convert at least 33% from three-point range, the Tigers.
We look at their numbers lately, and both clubs are shooting it awfully well from the three-point line today. And again, you've got 5 or 6 guys that will play on the floor combined on both teams that are legit three-point shots. So as a result of that, you've got a short leash, and what I mean by that is it's almost like guarding a guy with a leash like you're walking a dog, but it's a short leash. You don't get more than 3 or 4 feet away from him at any point, and if nothing else, you defend him at all times with a touch. You just touch him everywhere he goes because you got guys, if they can measure their shot, they're going to make you pay.
Memphis, a team that averages 8 threes a game. Rice short. James Davis hands it to Santee.
There's that Kansas secondary break. A little swing the ball, a little back screen action. The thing that makes that Kansas secondary break really so hard to guard is when it's Kansas players running it. That's the biggest thing about the Kansas secondary break system.
Fouls called to number 34, Lincoln Mariex.
Foul on Mariex is first.
16 foul on the Horned Frogs.
Modibo Diarra into the game for John Calipari. Diarra seeing more action. Earl Barron out of the lineup. Barron suffered a third-degree ankle sprain during shoot-around last game for the Tigers. Rice short.
TCU run from defense to offense, and they spot 4 guys up around that three-point line and 1 guy on the inside. Try to spread you out. If you don't recover to a shooter, they'll fire it on you in a hurry.
Mariex looking for an opening. Tried to make a move. Gets it to Davis. Shot clock down to 8. Burks the turnover. Back the other way. Antonio Burks lays it in.
Burks has really played well lately. The last 2 ball games, he's had 18 assists and only 3 turnovers.
Tigers with 8 fast break points already. 9-point advantage for Memphis. Up top, Mariex for 3. His second 3 in this game.
Tell you what helps him out is he's at 6'9". Even if you're defensively in proper position, a lot of times he can just look over the top of you and shoot over the top of you. They would like to get more out of Mariex still on the interior, but he's attached to that three-point line.
Kearney short on the 3-point attempt. Rice gives Memphis another try.
Well, I like how Burks runs his club. Keeps his club in position to win ball games, distributes it well. He knows he's not a great shot threat. Look out.
Try the alley-oop to Kearney. Blunt pulls up. No one picked him up. Short. Chinweezy chases it down. Mariex, no. And Mariex will be called for his second foul.
Fouls called to number 34, his second personal foul. 17 foul on the Horned Frogs.
Mass substitutions from both teams. First, we'll shoot free throws before a timeout.
You know, a lot of the perimeter shots have been long rebounds, and Memphis has kind of been cut out of position at times. Mariex this time gets the offensive board, and the pass comes back to him, and he misses the easy one, then reaches in out of frustration. I like how John Calipari described his club to you and I yesterday, saying that we're a club that can really run. He said, I'm not talking about running and converting, but just as far as 6 or 7 guys I can put on the floor just can really run from one end to the other. He said, that's one of our strengths.
Grice hits both free throws, and Memphis enjoys an 8-point lead thanks to three-point shooting and taking advantage of turnovers. Back into the game for the Tigers.
Again, I think you got to overplay and pressure hard on the perimeter, make TCU do something they don't like to do, and that's take that ball to the inside. Even if you give up a couple of backdoor layups and things, take away their strength, which is that three-point shot.
Shot clock down to 6. Santee throws it up. But a moving pick called on Nucleus Smith.
Yeah, he hit it with 2 hands, just enough. Proper call, and Memphis takes over.
Thought the foul was on Smith, as you mentioned. Travel call there. Rice for 3, no. Santee finds Smith. Santee makes a move, throws it up, no. The foul there by Chinweezy, but they're going to call offensive goaltending. No, actually on the back.
Great job by Santee, who's got a chance to be a special player before it's all said and done. Look at that effort, followed up right there by the freshman. So you got a sophomore point guard getting all the way to the rim, and a true freshman coming in and trying to clean it up.
Foul on Chinweezy, his first, and Massie to the line where he's 4 for 4.
That's one of those fouls from a head coaching standpoint you don't mind. In the film session tomorrow morning or whenever he watches the film, Neil Doherty would say, hey, that's okay, I'll take that effort every time out of Chudy Chinweezy.
Chinweezy out of Houston, Texas. Massie out of Arcola, Texas, knocks down both free throws, where he's 6 for 6. Nelson working on his defender, Richmond.
Doherty talked to the squad yesterday about patience, moving the ball, screening. You pick up 5 or 6 passes, you can probably get a high percentage shot against Memphis, and that's exactly what they did on that possession.
And Chinweezy will go to the line. Foul on Grice is first.
So you see that's about the 6th pass of the possession, and it ends up with Chinweezy at 15 feet, able to take up the slack and get to within 6 or 7 feet of the bucket. And Neil yesterday for about 3 minutes stopped and talked specifically about that. Ball movement, screening action, player movement. After you make them reverse that ball and make the defense work for 25, 30 seconds, Memphis will get a little antsy on you, then break them down off the bounce.
Chinweezy, not a very good free throw shooter, as we just saw, missed both, 55% coming into today. Rice up top, 3-point attempt, knocks it down. Rice, 36% from 3-point range on the season.
Well, you like clubs that utilize their 3-point shooters as a screener first, make their guy help, and then step out and knock down one on you, and that's exactly what Memphis did.
Chinweezy has it poked away by Richmond. Down to Massie, up top Burks. Memphis will work the clock down.
Burks has really quarterbacked his club well this first 20 minutes.
Burks needs help. Finds Richmond for 3. Can't get the 3 to go down, and that takes us to the end of the first half. Tigers have done a nice job shooting from 3-point range and the field, 50% from the field. One of the reasons they lead by 13 here at the break, 46-33. Our halftime report.
Where are my shooters? Where are my shooters? He's not thinking shot himself. He's thinking pass.
Santee all the way to the hoop. First 2 points for Santee.
You know, Burks he's both quick and fast. He's got a good first quick step, but he's awfully fast from one end to the other with the ball.
Irwin knocks down the jumper at the free throw line, and Irwin, a guy that got Memphis off to a nice start with 6 quick points.
Well, because of that, that ended up actually freeing up Massie a little bit. Irwin playing right now like he doesn't want to come out. Going to make Barron earn that spot back.
Only his 3rd start of the season. One foul going to the basket. He'll go back to the line.
Look at Burks pushing that ball. I mean, he's got a low center of gravity. He dribbles that thing up with knees bent and eyes up. Then the spot-up shooter in the corner. I mean, that is just great transition basketball. That's when Memphis is at their best. Hard push, easy shot. If you take that away, hammer that thing inside to Massie.
Kearney with 7 quick points here in the second half after going scoreless the first 20 minutes.
People home probably saying, did he just say that guy was a 6'11" high jumper in high school, talking about Kearney, and he ran a 49-second 400-meter dash? And if you're not familiar with track and field, those are outstanding numbers.
Kearney, a great high jumper. Jimmy Baxter, who plays for South Florida, also one of the world's great high jumpers.
I think if you're the Memphis track coach, you get Kearney out there at that conference track meet, let him get over that bar and get some points for you, don't you?
It's away by Brown. Blunt gives it up. Tried to get it down low to Mary X. And Burks and Memphis give it right back to TCU. So both teams a bit sloppy here in the early moments of the second half.
Just boom. His feet stay in bounds, but the ball hit the stripe. TCU pretty simple in their half-court sets. They use some staggered screens. They use a little zipper cut action, but again, their strength is just going and making a play on you.
Richmond bodies Nucleus Smith. Foul on Richmond. Second foul on Billy Richmond.
What Neil Doherty told us yesterday, he said, we've had some major deficits this year, but we've always managed to fight back. So it doesn't matter what the score is in my kids' mind, they think they're still in the ball game. And because of their three-point shooting ability, they usually are.
Good defense there from Memphis. Didn't allow Santee to get the ball in bounds. TCU gives it right back to the Tigers. Another turnover for the Horned Frogs. Not that time for Jeremy Hunt, but Massie tracks down the loose ball. Hunt, one more try from three-point range, no. And Grice called for the foul underneath.
But did you see how Massie went and got the ball out of his area? I mean, he's he comes and covers about 8 or 9 feet while the ball's in the air and goes and gets it. A lot of big guys, they'll get their position and just hang on and hope that it comes to him. Not this cat. That thing's above the rim. He thinks it's mine. He'll go right through you if you don't put a body on it.
Judy Chinwizzy back into the game for TCU.
Good help defense by Massie on a point guard right there. That showed you the quick feet that Massie has to do, covering up Blunt on the drive.
Nice defense there from Jeremy Hunt, who blocked the shot, and Grice comes back and hits the tray. 14 for Grice in this game, and TCU wants a timeout. Tigers with their largest advantage of the game. They lead by 20, 58-38, 15-49 left to play.
I'm a math teacher and a basketball coach. I've always been a student of the game. There's so many split-second decisions. You have to be thinking all the time. I try to teach my girls that it starts with physical ability, but it's the thinkers that rise above. That's the reason I come to Phillips 66. I know I'll get the highest quality gasoline for my car, and I know they're always thinking of ways to improve, like my team.
Year after year, mile after mile, and for all the miles to come, Phillips 66.
This is a traffic jam. It's the same traffic jam you sit in whether you bought expensive tires or not. But the guy with the Kelly tires gets to sit on a bigger wallet. With limited tread life warranties up to 80,000 miles, Kelly is a good deal on a great tire.
All together in sync, so competitive. Brothers to the core, we link, don't forget it. In bad times and good, friend or foe. If life's a game you play, then I'm one for all day in the dirt, my sweat's my paycheck. We're brothers to the core. It's like one for all, if one should fall, we tight despite the weather and fight for one cause. We're brothers to the core, so please believe me. Never forfeit the game, my team needs me. No one ever said success would come easy, but that's where my friends step in with LOVE.
4 of the last 5 field goals made by Memphis have been threes. They lead now by 20.
And 4 of the 5 baskets made by this guy have been from the three-point line. They put a lot of pressure on you in transition, Memphis does, because Massie attracts so much attention on the interior to sometimes draw guys down with him and allow guys like Rice and Carney to spot up and shoot threes on you. If you're TCU, you've got to run with these guys in transition. Talking about the shooters. Grab them by the jersey if you have to, but don't let them spot up and knock down shots on you.
Memphis now with 9 trays in this basketball game. They average 8 a game. TCU having a tough time finding an open shot. Blunt to the hoop, fouled by Hunt. 3rd foul on Jeremy Hunt. At least Blunt trying to make something happen. We've seen him a number of times go to the hoop. First a timeout on the floor. 20-point lead for Memphis.
You're bound to have a good time with Verizon Wireless and unlimited text messaging for only $2.99 monthly access. Plus, share unlimited night and weekend minutes on the America's Choice National Family Share Plan. So don't miss out on some surefire fun. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Come on, Joey, let's have some of Grandma's old recipe ice cream.
Wow, it sure looks good.
It is, Joey. There's a whole world of wonderful flavors in her old recipe ice cream. It starts with fresh cream and cane sugar, then in go all kinds of other great tasting treats.
Gosh, did Grandma make it herself?
Of course not, Joey. She goes to the store and buys it like everybody else.
Taste the premium quality of old recipe ice cream from Prairie Farms.
Tiger Bookstore has been around since 1964. And of course, we've bought and sold a lot of books. But if you're a true Blue Tiger fan, there's much more to Tiger Bookstore. You'll find University of Memphis logo apparel for the whole family. Whether it's for Dad, Mom, or that first season Tiger fan. So if you're ready to get your Tiger rah-rah on, then get your Tiger tail into Tiger Bookstore.
Texas. Let's take a moment to thank our corporate sponsor for Conference USA, Kelly Tires. A good deal on a great tire. Here the Horned Frogs having a tough time scoring points. They trail by 20.
And they got 2 of the top 10 scores in Conference USA on the same team. The only team in Conference USA that has that.
Richmond steals it. It's fouled by Chinweezy. Going to the bucket. Horned Frogs just look like they can't make a decision offensively out there on the floor right now, Jimmy, and we just saw it a moment ago, the freshman giving it right up to Richmond.
That's the 12th turnover in the ball game by the Horned Frogs, and that's too many against a club like Memphis that can take that turnover, boom, and quickly convert points. You also don't want to have turnovers out around the top of the floor because there's no help defense at that point. It's just a layup opportunity for you.
What are the Tigers doing defensively that's left TCU unsure of what to do with the ball?
Well, they've really increased their ball pressure. Anytime a guy from TCU has the ball on the perimeter, there's a blue jersey right there with him. They're playing that check your breath defense, talking about Memphis. They leave Mariex open, which you can't do.
Make some pay. Bingo Mariex has 11. bodied by Smith, and Smith calls for the foul. His second.
Second personal foul.
John Calipari's squad will continue to play this unselfish, where about every 4 out of 5 possessions, all 5 guys are touching the ball, then that's when they're at their best. Certainly the focal point of the offense is Massie. But they're at their best when everybody's getting involved with touches. Not shots, but touches, making the defense work, and that's what they've done in this ball game.
Punch short on the 3. Goes out of bounds. TCU will get the basketball. Following up on what you were just talking about, and that's touches. Memphis with 13 assists in this game. Last couple of games, they've had over 20 in each contest. 20 against East Carolina, 26 in a game against Tulane last month, and 26 against Southern Miss last weekend.
And they're staying pretty consistent with it. They lead the league with 18 assists a ball game and only 13 turnovers. Very good assist-to-turnover ratio as a club. A lot of it starts with their point guard, Burks.
Santee pulls up in three-point range. He's fouled by Burks, and he'll shoot 3 free throws. And John Calipari, having a fit on the other side, wants a carry called on Santee.
There's the move he's talking about, that crossover dribble that a lot of times can be called for a carry. It's been called once in this ball game, but you can't allow a guy on the perimeter to get an advantage by putting the hand underneath the ball, freezing the defender, boom, and then going back to work on you. And that's what John Calipari's voicing about right now on that sidelines.
Santee hits his first 2 free throws. He'll get one more. Jamal Brown back. Eagle Marriage to take a breather.
Santee, as good as he is, he's still learning to play the point like Neil Doherty wants him to do it. Be in charge at all times, know where the shot clock is, get everyone involved, know the time, the score, the momentum of the game. What a push by Burks, huh?
And Hunt finishes.
Burks gets that ball low. He kind of hides behind people, but he's got an extra gear to go by in transition.
6 assists for Burks to the hoop. Smith draws the foul, so he'll go to the free throw line. Foul is on Grice, his 3rd.
Luke has been the one guy for TCU that has been able to get to the rim this afternoon. Again, we go back to the fact that TCU is a club that averages 26 free throw attempts a game. You can't let them do a lot of damage on you in that area. That was their 18th free throw attempt in this one.
And then when they make fewer free throws than their opponent in a game, they're winless. 0-8. Knocks down the free throws. So far in this game, they're 14 for 19 from the line. Memphis 11 for 14.
You know, Lou, there's a big ball game in this facility on Tuesday night when Fort Worth Dunbar comes in here. Coach Robert Hughes tied the national record last night for wins in a career. He's got a chance to set the new record Tuesday night in this building. Fort Worth Dunbar Club is very good in this Fort Worth area.
Jeremy Hunt with his 4th foul. So TCU now with an opportunity to shave 7 points off of what was a 20-point deficit. Hunt takes a seat with 4 fouls. Anthony Rice back. Juan Irwin, Antonio Burks, Massie, and Carney on the floor for John Calipari.
Memphis has stayed in the man-to-man defense the entire ball game. TCU has faced a ton of zone defenses because of their lack of overall size.
Are you surprised Memphis has stayed in this man-to-man all game long?
Well, no, but because it's been good to them. I think if this was a tight ball game right now, Memphis maybe would have flirted with playing some zone. But Cal's club right now is really covering up well in their man-to-man.
Gives it up. TCU with numbers. Smith finds Santee all alone for 3. And a timeout by Coach Calipari. Asking Rodney Carney, why did no one pick up Santee, who was all alone for the 3-pointer? Santee was 7 in the game. 12-point deficit. 20-second timeout for the Tigers. Santee, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, number 2 scorer on this team, averaging 17 points a game. And his head coach, Neil Doherty, wants even a little bit more from his sophomore guard.
He's trying to figure out how to play and be effective when, 1, he doesn't have the ball, or 2, he's not guarding the ball. I think high school point guards, when they come in, they have had the ball in their hand all their life. And now you have to realize that you can still affect a basketball game when you don't have the ball and when you're not particularly guarding the ball. And that's where Corey's biggest area of improvement has to come.
Doherty also telling us that Santee's made the smoothest adjustment in his philosophy, the way he likes to see the game played.
Well, he was on him in practice yesterday afternoon, but then he was quick to tell us he's the reason why we've stayed in a lot of ball games.
Weezy to the hoop, fouled on the play by Dewan Irwin. And for Irwin, his 3rd foul, and Chinweezy will go to the line.
TCU can do some things to you out of timeouts defensively that can get them back into a ball game. They will sometimes come out in a 2-3 alignment and trap you on the wing. Sometimes they'll come out in a 2-3 alignment and jump you at the timeline. But you cannot let your guard down coming out of a timeout against TCU, because they're going to throw a wrinkle at you and see if you can handle it. Memphis didn't handle it that time.
Bryce back in. He has 3 fouls. Chinweezy, 2 points, 3 points now, a couple of rebounds. First time he's played in 6 games. Out with a stress fracture in his left leg.
On paper, Memphis, their plan of attack is to go inside out every time down. Massie, you would think, would at least get a touch on this possession. So far, he's the only one that hasn't touched it on this possession.
Shot clock down to 8. Rice short on the 3 attempt. Santee pushes it all the way, tries to get a Chinweezy, and is called for the charge. Antonio Burks, so quick, got back defensively and drew the charge. 3rd foul on Santee. Timeout on the floor. Neil Doherty likes the aggressiveness, not the call. 11-point lead for the Tigers. We're under 12 minutes. And they'll use the 3-point shot. They're 8 for 14 from 3-point range. Very good 3-point shooting team. Not bashful to throw it up from 3-point range. They threw up 39 trays earlier this year. I'm Luke Ellis, Jimmy Dykes alongside. Memphis, TCU, and Fort Worth. Massie had a shot partially blocked, but Carney cleans up. Rodney Carney with 9 points. Back to the 13-point lead for the Tigers. And Massie called for the foul down low, trying to defend Jamal Brown. Massie's first foul.
Chris Massie.
John Calipari continues with his thrust to get the carry call on Santee.
Coach Cal wants an explanation.
2 shots.
James Davis at the line. Hasn't scored yet, just 1 rebound. Misses the first.
Yeah, that's what John Calipari is concerned with, is does that move give the offensive player an advantage? Does it freeze the defense or give him an advantage?
Davis misses both free throws. Make sure you get all the information on your favorite Conference USA team by going online at www.c-usasports.com for all the basketball and conference news from around Conference USA. Junior Blunt called for the foul.
Bad foul by Blunt. You never foul a jump shooter, but especially when you're 6 feet tall as a defender, you're trying to block the shot of a guy that's 6'4", 6'5".
First foul
gonna happen.
Anthony Rice to the line. A
guy that just really doesn't get to the free throw stripe much because he's so prolific of a three-point shooter. That's only his 5th free throw attempt in about 235 minutes of conference play. If you just read that one stat right there, that's all you need to know about his game. Spot-up jump shooter.
Leah Smith in the backcourt now with Blunt. Santee to take a breather. Valson inside the paint, lost it. But first the foul called on Rodney Carney. And Valson will go to the line. Foul for Carney, his first.
Again, TCU has the ability to get to the free throw stripe 26, 27 times a game. Valson is a 4 guy, but he can put it on the floor and attack the rim on you. I really think if TCU has any chance to get back in this ball game and possibly pull off a win, they can't turn it over more than about 2 or 3 more times the final 11 minutes of this thing.
Valson, a terrific defender, not much of a scorer. I mentioned earlier in the ball game. Previous to today, in his 5 games, he had scored just 5 total points. He has 6 already this afternoon. And this is the second free throw.
TCU's going to come at you with a lot of energy right now in the defensive end. You've got to go strong with the ball. You've got to meet it with a purpose. You've got to expect contact. You can't expect the official to make a call on every possession. And you're going to have a lot of arms and grab things going on if you're Memphis right now on the offensive end.
And if you're TCU, you somehow have to get Massie away from the boards. Massie with the offensive rebound drew the foul. 3rd on Jamal Brown. So Memphis will keep it underneath.
I really think you have to keep him off the boards by face guarding him. I don't think you can be concerned about getting the rebound yourself if you're assigned to Massie. The shot goes, get in his face, and block him off that thing. Let your teammates clean it up for you. Massie, he's going to whip you one-on-one.
Back to the bucket. Worked on Chinweezy, and they called the foul on Massie, his second. You look at his size, 6'9", 253. Earlier you were telling us about how you've seen the NBA Developmental League and the talent that's there. Does he have the talent to play in the NBA? Forget about the Developmental League.
Well, I think the talent is there, but you got to project him. What's his position? And he's only 6'9", so he's not going to be a 5 guy in that league. You know, so and he doesn't have the skills to play the 3, so he's going to have to play the 4. Can you get away with a 6'9", 255-pound guy in the league at the 4 spot? You can, you know, for certain stretches. Can he defend his position? That's the other question mark that always NBA scouts are looking for. There's another double-double already today with 10 minutes to go in this one.
10 points, 10 rebounds for Massie. Carney back to the line. As Carney tries to build on what's whittled down to an 11-point advantage for the Tigers. And it's happened quietly here. Daniel Meyer Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. TCU trailed by 20 at one point here in the second half.
Here's why TCU can stay in this ball game. They can shoot 3-point shots on you, and you know Memphis isn't going to keep being 90% from that free throw stripe. They're 62% on the year. So they're going to give you some opportunities if you can score yourself.
Mary X for 3. Long. Rights the other way. Has Wade breaking on the right, and Wade blows a layup. Right place, right time. Comes up with a loose ball, Wade. Massie too hard cross court. Felt Carney break into the hoop. Nice feed, but too fast with the pass right through the hands.
Really a tough pass right here to Wade. It was a great catch. Much less to catch and get it up above the rim, because that could have easily been a turnover. And then Memphis quicker to the 50-50 ball right there. Gives him another shot at it.
TCU's forced 9 turnovers from the Tigers here in the second half. And this time, John Calipari gets what he's asked for all day long. The carry call on Santee.
The hand cannot go on the bottom side of the ball. Right there, that ball's in the palm too long. The little double skip move, that's a proper call.
I bet it would be difficult to try to get him to stop something like that.
It's a habit.
Because exactly, it's been a habit. He's been doing it since he's probably been playing the game.
TCU, they're in a gamble mode defensively right now. They're going to try to run through a lot of passes. That's what I'm talking about. Being strong with that ball and being certain with what you're doing.
Memphis has gone cold with its shooting here in the second half. All the way to the hoop, Smith, and he draws the foul. So Smith now with an opportunity to knock the deficit down to single digits.
Well, there you see him quickly coming up and advancing that ball, and that's their strength. Just pushing the thing up and getting in the hands of a playmaker, which is usually Santee or Blunt. Smith can make a play, Chinweezy can make a play. And it all goes back to the 7 losses the TCU's had in conference play. It's been by an average of only 7 points. They find a way to stay in ball games, and John Calipari knows that right now, that Memphis bench.
Juwan Irwin takes a seat on that Memphis bench with 4 fouls, and back is Jeremy Hunt, also playing with 4 fouls. Bryce for 3.
Oh, it's huge. A little bit of a gamble on the transition push to get the 3-point shot out of your trailer, and it goes for Memphis.
Bryce now with 5 triples in the game. Mariak's down low, needs help, gets it to Chinweezy, throws it up, foul by Massie. And Chinweezy will go to the line. 3rd foul on Massie. So fouls for the big men of Memphis now becoming an issue.
Chinweezy right now pretty much a 6 or 7 foot and in type guy. He's undersized for an interior player as well, and at only 6'6".
And I'm to be corrected, they called the foul on Jeremy Hunt, and for Hunt that's his 5th foul, so he has fouled out. So Massie remains with 2 fouls. And Hunt leaves the game with just 2 points, 0 for 4 from 3-point range, 1 for 5 from the field. And this from Jeremy Hunt, who averages over 11 a contest.
Neil Doherty, we talked about Chinweezy being his only recruit, but he's got some help coming next year. They had a pretty good early signing class. Blake Adams, number 5 player in the state of Texas, is on board. Aaron Curtis out of Lon Morris Junior College. Art Pierce out of Tyler, Texas, and Marcus Shropshire, redshirted this year out of Texas Tech. They need some more size, though. They got all the guards and 6'4", 6'5" type kids you can win with. They need size in this lineup.
Chinweezy at the line. Played in the Goodwill games for the U.S. team that won a gold. Averages over 9 points a game. Opened the season in the starting lineup, then missed 5 games with a stress fracture in his left leg. Richmond in the paint, uses the left hand, has it partially blocked there by Chinweezy. Back the other way, TCU. Santee gives it right back to Burks, and Burks in a hurry. Lays it in.
Whoa, what a play. You talk about pushing that thing with a purpose. Burks had one thing on his mind. I'm going all the way to the rim unless someone comes over and absolutely takes it away, and TCU didn't do it.
Burks with 10 points along with 8 assists. Smith around Rice, and Rice called for the reach. 4th foul on Rice. So now you have Rice with 4 fouls. Hunt has fouled out. And Juwan Irwin on the bench with 4 fouls. Nucleus Smith at the line, where he's 4 for 6 on the day. And he has 4 points. They get 5.
TCU number 15, Junior Block, replacing Corey Fox.
Billy Richmond back. Anthony Rice on the bench. Saddled with those 4 fouls. And Smith hits both free throws, bringing us to a timeout. TCU staying close. They trail by 11. Horned Frogs trying to snap a 4-game losing streak.
Every Toyota car, truck, and SUV is built to be the best in the world with a total commitment to quality, a total commitment to safety, and a total commitment to giving you the best value. And now, for a limited time, you can take advantage of low-rate financing, special lease rates, and customer cash back. Toyota. Best built, best value.
Get the feeling.
See your Toyota dealer now.
I want one size that fits me, not one size that fits all.
I want to be able to change my mind for a change.
I want a bargain without getting less than a bargain for it. I want lots of choices. Just make it simple.
Only Bell South has every answer. Local, long distance, singular wireless, internet services, and more on one bill. Call now to save up to 24% on select services.
I want a new boyfriend.
Listening, answering. Bell South.
I didn't see the car at all. I mean, I got slammed.
If you wait to call us, they can wait to pay you.
Every time I call their insurance company, they acted like I was putting them out.
Good things happen the moment you call 683-7000.
Once they found out I had Corey working for me, they changed their team and they started having everything done.
Car wreck, call anytime, day or night.
I wish I'd call Corey B. Trotz sooner.
I'm attorney Corey B. Trotz.
Second halftime now for Shooting the Rock, brought to you by Rolling Rock Bear. Grab a rock. Second half three-point shooting in this game. TCU 2 for 3, Memphis 4 for 9. Both teams actually shooting the tray all day long.
Well, they really are. Memphis has 4 guys that I think are consistent threats. Carney, Rice, and Grice has been the guy really with a true release, a true rotation every time on his jump shot. Gives him most of the time a good result. I think what's interesting about Memphis is they don't defend the three-point shot well. They're last in the league, but they give up the fewest amount of attempts. TCU's only taken 15 three-point shots in this ball game. They average 26 or 27.
We're at Daniel Meyer Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm Luke Canellis alongside Jimmy Dykes, TCU, and Memphis doing battle in Conference USA.
Massie hard to the hoop. What a play out of the timeout. With authority. Get the ball to the big guy on the inside and let him finish. They drew it up. Players took it to the court and executed it.
Massie with a dozen.
TCU, a club that knows how to hang around. And unfortunately, hanging around usually ends up with an L instead of a W.
Second foul on Carney. Smith back to the line again, where he has shot 8 free throws already. Converted 6 of the 8. Nuke Smith, he's come off the bench every game this season. Gets plenty of playing time from Neil Doherty. Averaging 19.5 minutes a game.
You know, we watched TCU in practice yesterday evening for quite a while, and you just got the feeling, I did at least, at the end of practice, that it's a frustrated team. It's a frustrated coaching staff because it's a new system. They're playing very hard. Neil was the first to say, hey, my guys are playing hard. I'm so proud of their effort, but they're frustrated because their inability to make plays at key times and get a win. That playing hard thing is hard to do when you continue to lose ball games like they've done 8 out of their last 9.
Carney for 3.
Wow.
Rodney Carney knocks down the tray. Carney with 12.
You know, we keep seeing the three-point shots by Memphis fall, and those are the highlight plays that will be on the news later on around the country. But Burks is the guy that has really kept his club in the right positions on the floor. He stays out of trouble spots. He delivers that pass right on board. He's the guy that makes the pass to the guy that makes the pass. I mean, Burks is a real key guy right now for Calipari.
Antonio Burks missed first 3 games with a hamstring pull. 2 more games because his mother was critically ill. John Grice there with the heads-up play, grabbing the loose ball and calling the timeout. Coming up on many of these ESPN Plus television stations next week, another doubleheader of Conference USA basketball. Houston on the road in Tampa against South Florida. The Pirates in St. Louis to battle the Billikens. Noon Eastern tip-off for the first matchup between the Cougars and Bulls. 2 o'clock Eastern tip-off for the Pirates and Bills. All brought to you by Kelly Tires, ESPN+.
Get a look next week at the Truscott kid from Houston, who's one of 3 guys in this league averaging a double-double. He and Chris Massie and Reese Gaines from Louisville. They do damage in a lot of areas.
That's next week. Jimmy, what about tomorrow? Marquette playing host to Wake Forest at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. And Oklahoma State ranked 11th at Cincinnati, where Bob Huggins Bearcats trying to snap a 3-game losing skid.
Chance for Conference USA to improve their overall RPI, and especially those 2 clubs in particular. I think that's a winnable game for Cincinnati tomorrow against a club, Oklahoma State, that's very, very good. They're leading that Big 12 right now, but that's a winnable ball game for Hugs.
Time running out on TCU. They trail by 14 in this game. Got within 10 here in the second half after trailing by 20. Honey long on the 3-point attempt. Rice, right place, right time. Gets it to go down, and he'll go to the line for the 3-point play.
A couple of things happened in that possession. Burks did a great job of getting the team into what Calipari wanted. He had to back dribble a little bit because they came running at him, but he made the extra pass. The shot went, it didn't go, but Massie got a hand on it to keep it alive, and then Grice comes in and cleans it up. I mean, that was a very good offensive possession out of Memphis. Although the first shot was a miss, several good things happened in that sequence for the team in blue.
Coach Calipari telling us yesterday after practice he needs Antonio Burks to be healthy on the floor for this team to succeed. And we're seeing exactly what he's talking about. In this contest, Jimmy, today, Burks has 10 points and 9 assists. Always looking for the open teammate, but can also finish when needed.
Yep. As a team, they've only had 14 turnovers, and he's probably only had 1 or 2 of those. But he is in charge of this basketball game. That last possession, John Calipari, he was the first guy that he got the attention of was Burks and said, "Good job, son." It wasn't the offensive putback or the rebound by Massie. He knew what his point guard had done for him on that possession.
Ariak's long on the short jumper. Burks in a hurry. In the paint, pulls up this time and has 12.
See how low he brings that ball up? I mean, he's 6 feet, but when he's bringing it up, he gets down to about a level of someone about 5'6", and his vision is tremendous. He knows where all other 9 guys are on the floor at all times. Not just where his teammates are, but he sees all 5 defenders. At least he has in this ball game. Awfully impressed with him as a point guard.
Led Conference USA in assist-to-turnover ratio in his first year of Division I basketball last season. Down low, X. Terrific find from Santee.
Somebody just fell asleep. Didn't communicate if a screen was set, didn't switch, whatever it was, but X got wide open.
Still, TCU cannot trade buckets. They need a few defensive stops here. They trail by 17. We approach the 4-minute mark. Carney harassed by Velson. Tigers milking the clock. Richmond on the baseline. Reach-in foul from Blunt. Second foul on Blunt.
If the other 4 guys on the floor play with the same high IQ that Burks is going to play with the remaining 4 minutes, this thing's over. Understand shot selection, understand where to keep the ball out of. You don't go in the danger areas in the corner or get trapped along the sidelines. You make the pass before the defender runs up on you. I mean, Burks has carried the head coaching mentality out to the floor. Now, if the other 4 guys feed off of him, Memphis is going to get a win on the road, which is very important for him right now.
Richmond with his first point in this ball game. Missed the East Carolina game. He's been battling the flu all week.
Talent-wise, he has as much talent as just about anybody in this league. But he's got to stay unselfish. He's got to continue to be a good teammate. That's what you need out of Richmond.
Burks all the way around. Finds Irwin, who misses the stuff but is fouled by Chinwizi.
Burks Burks is doing about anything he wants when he wants to do it.
Boy, is he fast.
Isn't he? I mean, he's a combination of quickness and speed. That's quickness to get him started, and then that's speed to get from 15 feet to the rim. Great vision. Again, he knows where everybody is when he has that ball in his hand. It's a rare find to find a young guy that can move with the ball in his hands as quick as without the ball in his hands, and Burks is one of them.
Irwin with a nice game in his third start of the season, replacing Earl Barron, who didn't make the trip, out with a third-degree sprain. So far, Irwin making Coach Cal happy. So's that guy, Antonio Brooks. Tigers lead by 20 here. Time running out on TCU.
This is a traffic jam. It's the same traffic jam you sit in whether you bought expensive tires or not. But the guy with the Kelly tires gets to sit on a bigger wallet. With limited tread life warranties up to 80,000 miles, Kelly is a good deal on a great tire.
From the very beginning, he was so committed. He stuck with it. He never lost sight of his goal. The hard work and determination paid off.
Phillips 66 is proud to be title sponsor of Conference USA Basketball. We know performance starts with commitment.
It's showtime with your favorite stars and promising amateurs. Weekends on UPN 30. Saturdays at 6, Monique hosts Showtime at the Apollo with hot new artists and the Apollo stars of tomorrow. Sundays at 6, Rudy Rush and Kiki Shepard host Showtime in Harlem with great guests, Showtime Teens, Showtime Kids, and Harlem's original amateur night. It's Showtime, Saturdays and Sundays at 6 on UPN 30.
Today's Conference USA game has been brought to you by Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasoline so you get the most out of your car. Think smart, think performance, think Phillips 66. And Kelly Tires, a good deal on a great tire. Back in Fort Worth, Texas, Horned Frogs having a tough time with that Memphis defense. TCU with just 11 shots here in the second half. They trail by 20, 81-61. On our Ameritrade scoreboard, earlier today in Conference USA, in Rosemont at Allstate Arena, DePaul won its 12th game of the season, beating Charlotte 72-64. St. Louis on the road in Tampa against South Florida. East Carolina will play host to Southern Miss. Tulane and Birmingham against UAB, and those Cardinals, winners of 16 straight, on the road later tonight.
Unless Memphis just completely shuts it down, they're going to go to 5-3, and UAB in Houston tonight will have a chance to stay tied with them in that national division. They're sitting there at 4-3 right now, heading into this evening game.
Area X with 16. Burks working on Blunt. Bryce finds Massie through a maze of hands. I lost the ball.
But it all started with Burks. I mean, he dribbles this thing on the side and takes it to the top of the key, has to back dribble because of the pressure, and gets the reversal pass, which ends up to Massie's hands.
Santee inside the line for two. TCU can ill afford to just trade buckets here with less than 3 minutes left.
Yeah, Burks, he can get into you and then separate to keep the 5-second count away from him. He always knows where the shot clock is. He is a true quarterback.
Bryce for three, no. Blunt on the left side, up top, Santee. Finds an opening, no. Burks tracks it down. 2 minutes left, and it appears as though Memphis will win its 14th game of the season.
It's important to win on the road because after this afternoon's ball game, 5 of their last 8 will be in the visitors' arena. So you got to get confidence. Got to be comfortable with what it takes to win on the road. Certainly Burks understands that as a point guard. And they played well today. You keep looking back to those times where they had 10 made field goals and 10 assists. They were unselfish. That's got to be a carryover for Memphis throughout February and the first part of March.
First 2 years Coach Cal has been with this Memphis team, Jimmy. They've gone to the NIT semifinals, won the championship last year, so it's very important he take this. As does Chris Massie. Massie finishes up with 14 points and 11 rebounds. Ball knocked away. And back the other way. Here comes Burks. Tried to throw the alley-oop to Carney. Jump ball called. Ball will stay with Memphis.
Look at Memphis with 14 wins right now. 8 games to go in the regular season. If they go 6-2 from here on out, and they have that 20 wins. They got 5 or 6 good quality wins. I think it'll be difficult to keep them out of the NCAA tournament.
Burks finishes with 12 points and 9 assists. And both Jimmy and I feel the MVP of this contest.
Yeah, no question. You forget about the things he's done on the defensive end as well, keeping those TCU perimeter players in check for the most part.
Belson knocks down the tray.
Better days are ahead for the Horned Frogs. I was impressed with Neil Gordy in practice yesterday, up to a level where they work hard every day and understand what it takes to win at a championship level. Right now, they're just not there. Not yet.
Anthony Rice short. Part of the rebound. TCU, with the loss here, will now have dropped 5 games in a row. Carney blows the jam. Ball goes out of bounds with just over 2 seconds left. TCU will fall to 7-14.
Not sure Coach Cal wanted Carney to go in and attack and try to finish with a thunder dunk at the end of the ball game. But this is a very good Memphis club. My first time to see them in person this year. They're hard to guard.
John Calipari's Tigers now 14-5. They've won 3 straight. Chris Massie leading the way with 14 points, 11 rebounds. Next Memphis game in Birmingham.